Hey everyone, Dr. Kate here again. In my last short video, I talked with you about the importance of attention and some strategies for using your attention strategically. I made a case for how important attention is to our kids in terms of both learning and feeling attended to and connected to us. And we talked about how negative behaviors can sometimes result from children seeking attention that we as parents aren't providing at quite a high enough rate. Today, I'd like to continue on this theme of ways to improve our use of attention in parenting by introducing a strategy called child-directed interaction, or as we often call it within our clinic, the child's game. The child's game, or child-directed interaction, is part of a larger type of therapy called parent-child interaction therapy. It was created by psychologist Sheila Iberg in the 1970s and used for working with children with disruptive behavior disorders and their parents. PCIT has great empirical support in the literature, meaning that research tells us it can be very effective. In our clinic, we have seen even just this component of the child's game being very effective and very helpful to parents wanting to improve the quality of their interaction with their children, as well as providing a good foundation to address some negative behaviors. It helps to provide a nice concentrated dose of positive attention within a short period of time because of some specific rules. Here's how it works. You set aside a brief time each day, even just 10 minutes or so, and allow your child to select the activity. Games, puzzles, coloring or drawing, building blocks, pretend play with dolls or cars, many other fun activities as well work for this game. Watching TV or passive activities, not as much. Once the child has selected an activity and begins play, we as adults should get right down on the floor and play too. There are rules though. This interaction is a bit different from many that we have with our kids in that we often interact in a teaching way, asking questions, making suggestions, etc. Here are the do's and don'ts of child's game. First, the do's. The do's can best be remembered by using the acronym PRIDE: praise, reflect, imitate, describe, and enthusiasm. Do labeled and unlabeled praise as your child plays. Yay, great job making that tower so tall. You are being so patient, etc. Reflect things that your child says by repeating it in your own words. This lets your child know that you're paying attention and listening, and it also helps with language acquisition for younger children. Imitate what your child does. If they zoom a car around the floor, do the same. If they rock a baby, you rock a baby too. This also conveys very concretely the attention and focus you are giving your child as they play, and it helps them to see their actions through another perspective. Describe. Almost like a sports announcer play-by-play what your child is doing. You are building a big tower. You are looking for another red block. That kind of thing. Again, this strategy, which often feels odd to us as adults, conveys so clearly to kids that we are paying attention and noticing what they're doing. It seems like it might annoy them, but trust me, it does not. The last do is enthusiasm. Animated facial expressions, excited voice, a bit over-the-top response. We should look just a little bit silly if we're doing this right. The enthusiasm creates a powerful contrast from just business as usual and adds a nice warmth to the interaction. If you're doing it right, you might be just a little embarrassed if another adult walks in. For many people, this takes a little practice to feel natural, but it's such a powerful part of the strategy. In combination, these do's create a highly reinforcing interaction that puts children in the driver's seat and results in a nice, positive playtime. There are some don'ts as well. Fewer of them, but they are important as well. Don't direct play or tell your child what to do. Don't say, try the red one, or why don't you build a ship? Don't criticize or correct during this time. Don't ask questions. Of all three don'ts, this seems to be the hardest for most of us, probably because we do a lot of early teaching this way, right? What color is this block? What number comes next? But questions are actually task demands, and during this special interaction, they can actually trigger some oppositional behavior in some children. Finally, a general rule during this playtime is to just sort of ignore any low-level negative or testing behaviors that occur, so that you don't have to fall into the trap of criticizing or correcting. If your child tries out being too rough with a toy, for example, just focus on your own play for a second and then look for the next positive thing to praise or to describe. Usually, you'll find that the testing behavior will fall off quickly simply because there's more fun to be had by playing without it. Occasionally, a child will be in a negative frame of mind and problem behaviors will escalate within the game and not respond to simple ignoring. If this occurs, it may be necessary to just matter-of-factly end the game and come back to it later. In short, Child's Game is a powerful way to provide some highly concentrated attention, improve parent-child interactions and relationships, and set a foundation that we can use for addressing behavior problems. We can talk more about those next steps in some upcoming videos. In the meantime, sit down and give this strategy a try. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching.